Yep, got it.
Well, let's see. Right now, they're just showing the title slide, so that would be the show for you to introduce her. Are they going to show your face? No. Oh, they're not. No. You can chat. You could use the chat.
Dana, can I start talking? Welcome to Essential Oils and Aromatherapy. You've heard about essential oils, but have you taken the time to learn the benefits they can bring to your body and health? Join us for a workshop to learn what essential oils are, why they work, and how to use them aromatically in homes, work, and on the go. I want to present wellness advocate and essential oil specialist, Amy Killingworth.
Hi, thank you so much, Mary. I'm really glad to join y'all today. I love educating in this area. Like Mary said, my name is Amy Killingsworth. I've been, I guess, educating on essential oils for a little over 6 years now. My family is my husband and I, and we have 2 teenage boys. We are a home that before then, we just did our life and didn't think twice about the things that we were breathing in our home or using in our home, and just going through my own journey of education and learning about essential oils and how they can benefit us has really impacted our health and our wellness. And now I love to just take any opportunity I can to share that with others. And so just like Mary said, we're going to really focus in on using the oils aromatically. But I want to talk to you and kind of just give an overview of what essential oils are and why they work, and then how the different ways you can use them. So let's get started. Oh, real quick, before I do, I always like to just put this disclaimer out there because, as you know, natural homeopathic things really aren't evaluated by the FDA. And we're not making claims that these oils can treat specific medical conditions. I always encourage people to reach out to their doctors when they're looking at making true medical changes. But I do hope to at least show and educate today on just how you could possibly use essential oils in your home to better and support your health and wellness. So what exactly is an essential oil? We hear this term, especially these days. I know I feel like I hear it almost daily, whether it's on a TV commercial or just on a Facebook post or just out and about in stores as I walk up and down product aisles. But true essential oils are natural. They are made from plants. They actually come from maybe the leaves or the stems, the bark, the resin, even some rinds of some fruits. This is a picture of a peppermint leaf. I know you've probably have at some point, whether you found a peppermint plant and you rubbed your fingers on it and smelled your fingers and you smell that mint, or maybe you've walked through a field of flowers and you just smell just the beautiful aroma, or walking through a pine forest, you know, and you're smelling the fir trees, or at Christmas time, the Christmas tree, if you have a real tree in your house. I know we like that. But all those scents and aromas that we're smelling are actually the essential oils in plants. They're very hyper concentrated, 50 to 75 more times powerful than herbs. So a little goes a long way. And you'll see there on the screen, 1 drop of peppermint essential oil is equivalent of 28 cups of peppermint tea. So essential oils are not something we need to douse ourselves in and just cover ourselves. Literally 1 or 2 drops can do some amazing work and have impact. The essential oils in plants are actually in the plants to help protect the plants and to guard them against environmental threats and help them thrive. And because these oils are a natural, we are able to use them and work with our bodies. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. Essential oils. So what do? They provide for us natural solutions. How I mentioned, so before, I guess, so 7 years ago, and before, I just did life, I really struggled a lot with respiratory issues every fall, winter, spring, whether it was environmental changes or whether it was something I picked up from, the office at work, and now I was all congested and stuffy, or I had a cough. I would always just pick stuff up all the time. And we still do. I'm not like completely immune to that by any means. But what I found is when I started using essential oils as a preventative solution and support for my health, a lot of that stuff stopped happening, or to the intensity that it was happening. I had no idea how chemicals were affecting my respiratory system, how they were affecting my hormonal system. Just the fact of changing out of our cleaners in our home from the chemical based to, we clean now, we make things with essential oils and we clean our home with them, and our house smells wonderful, and I'm not dealing with the respiratory things. There's been a lot of things in my body that have balanced out. So anyway, just great natural solutions. These essential oils that I mentioned from the plants, they are just hundreds of natural compounds. So every essential oil has its own unique chemical property. And that's what makes each essential oil have a different effect on us, is how the chemical compound reacts and relates to our body. So these essential oils, they are safe without side effects. And I know if you're like me, like I see the generations ahead of me, and they are on so many medications for things that they need to be on medications for, but sometimes they're on medications to take care of the side effects from other medications. And so there's just all of these side effects, or these days we watch commercials and there's just like a long list of side effects. And you're like, oh, I don't even know if I'd ever wanted to try that. And so this is something that's safe without side effects that can support your body. They're cost and time effective in the sense that I wake up in the middle of the night, I may have just some sinus congestion, I may have a headache. Like I said, sometimes, have those hormonal imbalances, and there's oils that I can use and oils that I can diffuse, and those balance that out. I'm not having to run down in the middle of the night to the local CVS and pick something up that I ran out of. I go to my I have a little oil box in my kitchen, and I just pick up my oil, have little bottles, and I'll just put a drop in my hands. I can breathe it in. And just opens up and clears up, or I may even diffuse it beside my bed. We're going to talk about all that later, but it's saved me from having to take time off work because I'm not sick as often. My kids have not missed, near as much school because they're able to stay healthy, being proactive. It has saved us co-pays. It's saved, like I said, just all the things that I had to purchase. Like there's now aisles at the grocery store that I don't even have to walk down anymore. A lot of the cleaning product aisles and things like that, because I now use natural solutions. And it's literally pennies per use because you only need a drop or two at a time. So why are essential oils effective? This right here was kind of like the buy-in for me. So like I said, about a little over 6 years ago, I started seeing things about essential oils. I heard my friends start talking about them. I was like, yeah, what's that? What is all that weird stuff? It's essential oils from a plant. It smells good. So what's the big deal? And when I learned why and how they work, I was hooked, and I was like, okay, I want to try these for myself and see if they really do work. And they do. But this is what someone shared with me that I didn't know. I'm not a science major. I didn't, I took the basic biology class probably in high school and stuff. And that was like the limit of my science education. But what I'm learning, the more I learn about this, is the human body is amazing. So a cell in our human body has a cell wall. this I understood, I knew just from basic biology class. What I didn't know is that, so there are threats that live inside of our cell wall, and there are threats that live outside of our cell wall. The threats that are outside our cell wall are much easier for the medical community to address, because they can give us something that can go through our body and address these threats and deal with them, and we feel better and it's great. But what about those threats inside the cell wall? And what I learned is that essential oils are actually, one, because they're oil-based, but two, they're small enough that they actually can pass through the cell wall. They're such a small size that they easily pass through, and they can then deal with threats inside of a cell. And so when you think of things that happen inside of a cell at a cellular level, that's usually ideally what we want to deal with, right? Like I'm someone just outside of the essential oil world. I like to deal with the root cause. Like I don't want to deal with symptoms. Let's get to the root of the problem and let's deal with it. And so when I heard this, that's exactly what I heard, was that these can actually get to the root of the problem and deal with it at the root, at the cellular level. So like I said, I had to try it for myself, and sure enough, we've had just some amazing effects and stories that we'll get into some more of a little bit later too. And the good thing is you don't become immune to the benefits of these. I know growing up, because like I mentioned, I had a lot of respiratory issues growing up and a lot of sinus and sore throats. Just I had a bunch of stuff going on every winter, to the point where, you know, it was like, all right, it's December, it's January, any day now I'll probably be going to the doctor's office because I'll probably be getting sick. It was just so routine. And so because of that, you know, there were things that the medical community would give me that after a while I couldn't take anymore because my body had become immune to it. And essential oils are not like that. So I'm able to, one, be proactive and keep myself from getting as sick or sick at times, but also I'm able to keep using them again and again as needed without any issues. Real quick, I do want to talk about grades of essential oils, and how I mentioned at the beginning, like these days we see essential oils everywhere. If you're like me, I turn on the TV and they're talking about some product that is infused with essential oils, or I walk down the cleaning aisle and it seems like every cleaning product these days says infused with essential oils, made with essential oils, made with real essential oils, you know, and just there's just so much out there. And here's the thing, is not all essential oils are equal. And that's really important to know. And this is why they're not all equal. This chart right here. So the good portion of essential oils out there are actually synthetic. They're not even natural. They're man-made chemical substances to resemble essential oils. They're synthetic. So these obviously will not have that therapeutic benefit on us. Like our bodies just wouldn't be able to process those. They're synthetic. There's also, I'm sorry, hold on one second. There's someone coming in my door and there's nobody supposed to be here. Back. I'm so sorry. We got that figured out. I apologize. So there's some synthetic oils. So then there's also food grade oils. So food grade oils are the oils that you find in your like your peppermint extract or your chewing gum. And so they're able to be ingested by our bodies. And so that does exist out there. And then there is therapeutic grade oils. And this is when it starts to get a little confusing of, well, what's real, what's not, what's good, what's not. So therapeutic grade oils, those are ones you may find when you're out, maybe you're getting a massage or you're at a health food store, and it will say 100% pure therapeutic oils. And the thing with therapeutic essential oils is that they only have to have a small percentage of true essential oil in there. And the rest of the bottle can be fillers. The rest of the bottle, who knows what's in there. It may be good things. It may be synthetic based things. but because they say therapeutic, we're like, oh, these must be good. And so we grab them. But there is a small percentage of essential oils out there that are 100% pure. And they have a grade on them. And I would encourage you to look for oils with this grade. It's a certified pure tested grade. And this is different. This is actually the grade that the medical community and the science community really want to use in their testing and in promoting, because these oils are consistent. So when I have a certified pure tested grade essential oil, for example, peppermint, let's say I have peppermint and certified pure tested grade, that drop of peppermint in the bottle I have is going to have the same effects on my body as a drop of peppermint in your certified pure tested grade bottle and anywhere else in the world. And so because of that, the science community is able to really study this and do experiments and make sure, you know, the consistency. But what that gives us is that gives us the grade and the type of oils that actually have the therapeutic properties that are going to work with our bodies in ways that another essential oil may not. And let me give you an example. So lavender. So I love lavender. Everyone loves the smell of lavender. It's calming. It's we just think of calm. We might think of sleep and stress-free. So I can plant a lavender plant in my backyard down in Noonan, Georgia. That's where my house is. And I could plant that there and it could grow and I could harvest the oil from there. I could get the lavender oil and bottle it, but it's not going to have natural antihistamine properties. It's not going to have natural sedative properties. It's going to smell wonderful, but it's not going to really help my body. And I could even bottle that and sell it to someone and say, this is 100% pure lavender oil. And I wouldn't be lying, but it's not going to have, again, those high pure therapeutic properties that my body is going to be able to respond to in a very positive way. It just might just smell good. But now if I was to source my lavender from Bulgaria, if I was to source my wild orange oil from Brazil or my lemon oil from Sicily, now those areas of the world, those oils, when they are harvested, because of where they live in the environment and the climate and the soil type, all of that, because they have all of that in those conditions, those oils will have a very unique property that now can help my body. And so if you don't get anything else from today, just know, like, as you're walking up and down the aisles of the grocery store, if it says infused with essential oils, I mean, that could be synthetic. Or even if it says infused with 100% pure essential oils, it might be truly pure essential oils, but may not have the therapeutic benefits that our body needs for health and wellness. So know your oils, know what you're looking at, do your research. There are companies out there that have medical and science teams that work with them. Watch for those, because that is going to be really key as you're using your essential oils if you're looking to get health and wellness benefits from them. If you're just wanting things to smell good, that's one thing. But if you're wanting a true health and wellness experience, then the grade of essential oils is going to be very key. So that's a big thing. Okay, so it's a little bit of essential oil safety. I do like to tell people, because yeah, we're going to be talking about aromatherapy and uses with that. But as we use oils and, you know, as we have them in the bottles and we're putting them in things, sometimes we may, you know, get them on our hands. And a lot of the oils that are certified pure, tested grade are fine getting on our skin. And that's kind of another, I guess, kind of red flag, warning sign, that if you're at a store and you see a bottle of essential oil on the shelf and you pick it up and it says, you know, do not touch on skin or call poison control, that's kind of like a red flag of, this may not be what I'm wanting for my health and wellness. I don't know what's in this bottle. But essential oils, 100% pure essential oils, those high quality, certified pure, tested grade oils are going to be very safe, very gentle, without the side effects. But you do want to make sure you keep them out of your eyes and ears and nose. And I'll get, for example, so peppermint, I always go back to peppermint. It's very menthol if you've smelled a peppermint oil, because it opens up your airways. But if I get that on my fingers and then I rub my eyes are going to sting a little bit. And so our natural reaction is to run to the sink, and splash water on our eyes and let's just get them open. Get the oil out, and water and oil do not mix. And so all that does is drive the oil deeper and it'll burn a little bit longer. So if you do ever get any oil on your fingers or you happen to get them in your eyes, what you want to do is go in your kitchen and grab whatever kitchen oil you have. So it might be coconut oil, avocado oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, whatever you got. And just put a little bit on your fingers and you just rub it around your eyes and it'll just calm that. So that's just really important to know. I feel like essential oil safety is just something everyone should know. Skin sensitivity may be a safety issue. If you're someone with sensitive skin, for example, myself, like I love to diffuse oils that have cinnamon in it. I love it because it's just, especially in the fall, it's very warm. And then the properties of cinnamon are very immune boosting and helpful for our health. But cinnamon oil itself can be kind of spicy. It's from a spice. So I have sensitive skin. So if I was to be handling cinnamon oil, I always like to make sure I have my vegetable oil and my coconut oil or something nearby that I can dilute and soothe. But it's not going to harm my skin. It just might burn a little bit. I always encourage people to follow all the label instructions. Essential oils should come with labels and instructions on the bottle. If you're getting oils from somewhere that without that, you may want to rethink again what you're using. Citrus oils, something to be just aware of, just citrus oils in general, if you get that on your skin, you just really don't want to be outside for the next 12 hours. It's not like you've got to run from the sun, but it's just like normally the sun, we get a sunburn, you would just get a sunburn faster. So just a little bit more skin sensitivity. Down here at the bottom, it does show different types of oils. And then after this, we're going to dive into the aromatherapy part. So application methods, they can be used aromatically, and on a bottle of essential oil, on the instruction part, you'll actually see for aromatic use. That should be on the bottle if you're about to diffuse it. There's some that are graded for topical use and some that are graded for internal use. But then also a skin sensitivity, we have neat. If you ever hear the term neat, that means if you do get it on your skin, it should be fine. It's a safe oil. You usually don't have to dilute it. Sensitive skin, or if the oil is labeled to dilute, that is something that you would want, again, that carrier oil, that oil that you grabbed from your kitchen to help dilute that. So anyway, just a little bit of oil safety tips. All right, so using essential oils. This one we're going to camp out here for a while. We want to use them through smell. We call this aromatic because it's aroma. And for myself, when I started using essential oils, like I'll be honest, so I got a diffuser and I had my oils. I was ready to just diffuse all over my house and in my office and anywhere, really. And at the first, I was thinking, I just want things to smell good. I loved a little bit of lavender at night because it just smelled calming. I liked some citrus oils during the day, maybe peppermint in the morning to kind of wake me up and get me going. But what I learned the more I got into essential oils is I can diffuse for scent, which there's many times I still do that, or I can diffuse for purpose. That might be the best way to say that. So for purpose. And sometimes I do both. Because when we breathe in the oil, so when you have an oil in your diffuser, and when I say diffuser, there are diffusers you can purchase these anywhere. I mean, I see them on Amazon. I see them at Bed Bath & Beyond. There's just diffusers designed to put water in there with a little bit of essential oil, and then they take the essential oil molecules and put it into the air. It's not a humidifier. They do have humidifiers that you can add essential oils to, but a diffuser really just takes the oils and puts them into the air. So there's like a little bit of a cloud as it's going into the air. But when these oils get into the air and we breathe them in, our olfactory nerves are really what's picking up these chemical properties that we talked about, those chemical compounds. I'm trying to think of one, for example. So we'll just stick with lavender. So lavender is very calming, not just because of the smell, but because there's actual chemical properties in those high quality lavender oils that when we breathe in, our olfactory nerves are picking those up. Those chemical properties are starting to talk to our nerves The olfactory nerves actually go to our limbic system, which the limbic system controls so much of the behind the scenes stuff in our body, and can help us, our moods, our hormone levels, just balance some things out, help us relax and sleep, help our stress levels. And so as we're breathing in these oils, we're just going, oh, that just smells so good. And our body is going to work. Our body's taking those chemical compounds and it's going in and it's starting to just rearrange some things. And the one thing that's beautiful about essential oils is it brings your body into balance. It's not like you can get too much lavender and then you're just so tired you can't wake up, or whatever. You can't, it's gonna, they bring your body into balance. So if you're a little too stressed or a little too groggy or hormonally a little too imbalanced, like it's just gonna help bring some of that stuff to balance. If your body's fighting something and you need a boost in your immune system, it's gonna help balance out and strengthen that immune system to what it needs to be to help defend your body. So now what do you do if you don't have a diffuser? So here's what some people do. Some people love to just, and I actually did this right before this class because this is a peppermint oil of mine, and I like to just put a drop in my hands. And then I like to like rub it together and just breathe it in. And I may do that a few times. And it just, yeah, that peppermint oil, I just feel like that just opens me up, opens my lungs up, my sinuses, and just kind of, whoo, it's a nice alert oil. So sometimes you can use them aromatically like that. I know some other women that I've done this before myself, is I find an oil that I like and I'll put it in my hair. If I'm wearing a scarf, I'm a scarf. My husband has a beard mustache. He'll put some oil that may help, keep his sinuses open right here. So there's different ways you can use them aromatically. And then of course, everyone these days, I feel like you can find diffuser bracelets, diffuser necklaces that you can just have on you and on the go. Now diffusers, we have one in our bedroom, so we diffuse at night. I have one in my living room where I can diffuse during the day. I have one in my office. We actually have a cordless one that goes with us in our car because there's sometimes where, especially if you're doing a long car trip, you just want to have something to either help you focus, or if you're in a long car trip with young kids that you want to help just kind of relax. And then a lot of times I like to just use oils as a personal fragrance aromatically. And this is a bottle that I created. I found a fun little sticker and I named it Dream because it just smelled really good. And so I put my oils in here. I put some of like the coconut oil in here just to keep it for sensitive skin. I made sure I used oils that were good for topical use. And so this is just a personal fragrance type of aroma. And so it's a roller bottle, and you can get these like on Amazon or any kind of website. But then I just like to just put it on my pulse points and just smells good. And then it's a way that I'm benefiting aromatically as well. So essential oils are known to like really up our moods. They clean the air. There's so many different oils you can diffuse to increase antioxidants in the air that you're breathing. They replaced all of our plugins. If you do research these days, I was shocked because I grew up on plugins and air fresheners and Febreze and all this kind of stuff. And I didn't realize what it was doing to my lungs. And again, if you look at research these days, they're now starting to call a lot of those chemical air fresheners the new secondhand smoke. There's people coming up with different lung and respiratory issues who they actually, they're like, I've never been around a smoker. And the doctor's like, what have you been doing with your lungs? And they have no idea. And they stop and think and realize all the chemicals that are coming through their home. So really being aware of what you're breathing in is very key. What you're putting in your air, what you're putting on your body that you're breathing in or that your skin is even absorbing. But then again, so mood lifting, cleansing the air, supporting the respiratory system. What's not listed on this list is boosting your immune system. But yeah, if I have a diffuser, I usually start with about 5 drops. And if I have a larger room, I might put maybe up to 7 or 8 drops. And the one thing I get asked a lot is, I get text messages. I like both of these oils. Can I blend them together, or will it cause some kind of like toxic combination? Like, no, like if you're using oils that are marked safe for aromatic use, you can kind of mix whatever you want together. And so, you know, I have friends that create their own fun blends. I have, of course, my favorites that I love to do. I always love to do fir oil. I love the fir oils. Any fir tree oils is going to be very grounding for your system. It's going to just kind of help you calm down, come to your senses. So I love the fir oils mixed with a citrus oil, and then maybe either with a drop of peppermint or spearmint, just to kind of bring a little zest. I might be the best word. Just, I don't know, a little punch. This was a recipe that a friend sent me called On the Beach. And she was in the mood. She's like, I just want to chill out. I just want to relax. I want the same feelings I have like after spending a day on the beach. And so this was kind of a blend that she liked for that, and sent that to me. So you can kind of mix and match and make your own. Like I said, I start with 5 drops, but it's kind of whatever. One of the questions I get also a lot is, well, I have pets. I'm afraid to diffuse because I have pets. So again, high quality, especially the CPTG type oils, are very safe for pets. But this is what you want to do. Where we as humans, we can say, oh, I don't like that smell, or that's too strong, or whatever. And we can control it, and we can turn it down or leave the room or step outside, whatever. Pets don't really have a voice to be able to say that. And so they recommend, if you are diffusing in a room with pets, just leave the door open where they can leave if they need to. And if you notice that there's a certain oil that every time you diffuse, your dog leaves the room, that may be something just to realize, you know, I don't know, maybe that oil just isn't a good one for them. But anyway, there's a whole nother class, essential oils and pets, but we'll just focus here today. Real quick, we already talked about this, but just that if you do get oils on your skin, using them as a carrier oil, adding lotions and moisturizers, just something to kind of dilute it, would be helpful. And then just be aware, we're not going to talk about this today, but I always want to make sure people are informed, because there are things out there that say you can ingest essential oils. Do not ingest essential oil unless there is a supplemental facts label on the bottles of oil. I do know CPTG oils are labeled that way. Other high quality oils are labeled that way, but do not. But if it is marked supplemental, then that's a whole another area that I would encourage you to do some fun education on and experiment with. All right, so what oils do what? That's kind of where I kind of want to just take the rest of the class. And I should have said this at the beginning, but if you have questions, there's a chat bar that you're welcome to put your questions in. And if we don't get to them during the class, we will definitely get to them at the end. But peppermint, I've referred to this one a lot. So peppermint promotes healthy respiratory function. Just the chemical properties in a peppermint, in a high quality peppermint oil, just helps clear the airways. It relieves upset stomach. I like to take peppermint. You can actually just diffuse it if you're on a road trip. There's some people, you know, motion sickness, whether it's in the car or cruise ship or flying or, you know, just whatever, just having some peppermint in your hands that you can breathe in or diffuse by your bedside, or, well, I guess you don't have motion sickness while you're sleeping, but, or in your car. That's going to really help deter that. It's very energizing. It helps cool the body temperature down. And like I mentioned earlier, it's frequently used in, you know, things like toothpaste, chewing gum. Oral health is where you may find some peppermint essential oil in. Frankincense. So frankincense is a fabulous oil to diffuse. It is taken from the resin of the frankincense tree. It is a very grounding oil, again, because it's coming from a tree. You know, as I mentioned, a lot of the oils that come from trees are going to be very grounding for you. So a lot of people use frankincense in meditation, in just after a long day's work, when they're just wanting maybe just some brain support. Frankincense is one of the few oils that actually passes through the blood barrier of the brain. And if you were to Google research on frankincense essential oil, you will be amazed by what you find of how that is being used with some brain health situations. it supports overall cellular health. So frankincense sometimes is known as the king of oils. And the reason is, as we talked about those chemical compounds, like every essential oil has its unique chemical property stamp, fingerprint, so to speak. And usually they just have one, and it does what, like peppermint opens up airways and brings focus, and lavender's helpful calming. Frankincense has tons. And so they say, if you're ever not sure which oil to use, just pull out your frankincense, because it most likely has that chemical property in there that's going to help what you need. So it's overall cellular health. But then just some other fun facts of frankincense, that if you ever were to use it topically, it's amazing for anything skin, like scars and stretch marks. Amazing oil for skin. Lemon. Okay, so lemon, just citrus oils in general, also yummy. That's probably the best way to say. They just smell so good. Lemon, it actually comes from the rind of the lemon. It's not an acidic oil because it is from the rind. Here's a fun little fact down at the bottom. It takes 45 lemon rinds just to fill a 15 milliliter bottle of oil. 45 lemons for one little bottle of oil. But as you diffuse citrus oils, all the citrus oils, and especially lemon, are very mood lifting. So if you've just had a down and out day, or just a blah day, and you just need some lifting, diffuse some lemon oil. It's going to be very helpful for you. Brings focus, clear thinking, mood lifting, and it will actually help open up those airways. It's one of the oils that is encouraged to be used during the seasonal changes, and there's so much pollen in the air. Because when you breathe that in, it's going to support open airways and clear breathing. So I like to couple lemon and peppermint, and actually lavender. We haven't talked about lavender yet, but those three together are like a powerhouse for seasonal times. For this time of year right now, or actually probably more what it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago when there was so much pollen in the air. But diffusing those by your bedside, and then maybe by your desk during the day, you will notice such a difference. Maybe it's the itchy, watery eyes that you're dealing with, or maybe it's just congestion or itchy throat. It's going to help all of that. It's wonderful. And then a fun little side thing with lemon. So lemon oil, like I said, comes from the rind, so it's not acidic, but it makes it a great cleaner. So if you do end up using a lemon oil, and then you're wanting to kind of start swapping some things in your home for making them toxin free, lemon oil is one I definitely recommend cleaning with. It helps actually remove the gummy, sticky stuff, sometimes maybe on our kitchen counters or in our bathroom. It just helps break those things down naturally, and then leaves a wonderful clean scent. So great oil. Tea tree. Tea tree is a very grounding oil. It's also very just healing oil. It's one, I call it a purse oil. It's an oil that I always like to have in my purse, because I just may never know when I might need it. I actually like to put a couple of drops of this inside of my mask these days for COVID, and I let myself breathe it in as I'm walking through the store or wherever I am that I'm having to wear my mask, because it is great for respiratory system, but it's great also just for cleaning the air. And a little fun fact with this one. So in World War I, they actually used tea tree oil. They would take a drop of it, and they would put it, apply it to the bullet wounds to prevent infection in the soldiers. So very neat properties in this when you can get a high quality tea tree oil. It supports our immune system. I said, again, that's another reason I love to put it inside my mask. But I like to diffuse this one as well, because it helps just clean the air in my home. I like to mix this one sometimes with peppermint, lemon, or eucalyptus, just some other the oils that really help the respiratory system. Great oil. Lavender. Okay, so we've talked about lavender, and we talked about how, all things calming is lavender. And I like to diffuse this at night. I may put a drop on my pillow at night. Maybe I don't want to run a diffuser, and I'm lazy, I'm tired, I just want to get to bed, but I want the benefits. So I may put a drop of this on my pillow and just breathe it in. It's going to help the body and the mind slow down. It's going to help with drifting off to sleep and staying asleep. I know some people that who have issues with sleeping, they like to diffuse this at night, or they may actually just put a bottle next to their bed. And if they happen to wake up in the middle of the night, just take one, drop a little drop on their pillow and get back to sleep. But very calming. And then just some extra fun facts with lavender. While it is calming and great for diffusing for that de-stressing and for the sleep, is also great for anything that is flared up. So maybe it's not just our emotions or our mind that's flared up and needs to rest. Maybe it's a sore joint or just some aches and pains. Lavender is going to be an oil that will really help soothe those irritated tissues. So when you think of lavender, and again, a high quality lavender, you're going to experience calming in many areas, not just sleep. And typically, lavender is a floral oil. Typically, what you'll find with the floral oils is they are going to be very calming, very soothing, where the citrus oils were more just like uplifting and put you in a good mood. Lavender is going to help just kind of wind down. I mean, floral oils are going to help you wind down. Okay, so this is a little bit different. So I'm not just talking about one oil. I know there's some of you out there that probably, like myself, like to blend oils together because you're looking for like a certain concoction. You want it to do a certain thing. This I call the protecting blend. And the key oils in this are clove. Clove oil is so high in antioxidants. Cinnamon, I talked about that earlier, about just having great benefits for the immune system, and eucalyptus as well, having some really good benefits for the immune system. So these three oils together, blended together, you could diffuse these at night while you sleep or in your house during the day. And it's going to help clean the air. It's going to help boost your immune system and protect you just against those environmental threats. So when I say environmental threats, it's like a weird word, but I mean, like when you're out and about and you might pick up things here and there because you're just around people that might be carrying things, and you come home and you don't want those things to later manifest and now you're homesick. Like you want to be able to keep those at bay. So I love to diffuse this type of blend at night. Especially if I've been around out in the public where just like in fall and winter season when everything seems rampant, I like to diffuse this. And then another blend I like to make, and I think I may have actually already alluded to this earlier, is my respiratory blend. So this, I like to do peppermint, because peppermint opens your airways. Eucalyptus is just like a spa oil in and of itself, but it's very supportive of the respiratory system. Eucalyptus by itself, you can put a couple of drops in the bottom of your shower, turn on a hot shower and just breathe in aroma wise that way, and just really benefit, have a little spa experience. And the tea tree oil that we talked about. So these three I like to diffuse together when I'm looking for specific support for respiratory function. So again, and sometimes I may do the respiratory blend along with the protecting blend that we just talked about. I may actually mix all 6 of these together and do that at night, especially if I'm just needing support. Maybe I'm coming down with something and I'm starting to feel a little bit congested or something in my throat or my chest. So I'm wanting to boost my immune system while also supporting respiratory system. So I may do a mix of those 2 blends. But those 3, the peppermint, eucalyptus, and tea tree, will be great for respiratory support. And then digestive. Now this is, I will say, I'm not one to really diffuse a lot for digestive, but it wouldn't hurt. Some people just don't prefer the smell. Mainly, I think for the fennel and the ginger, sometimes that can be strong in the air. But I do have people that have diffused this, but you can also make a little blend, like I said, in a roller bottle and then just rub it over your belly and it helps. But you got ginger in here, which ginger's great. Anything digestive. Peppermint, which is going to be very soothing for the stomach. What peppermint does is it actually helps support nerves just anywhere in our body. And it's going to help calm any muscle spasms or any flare-ups that's happening in our digestive system and help calm those. Fennel, if you're not familiar with fennel, black licorice has fennel in it. So fennel smells like black licorice, which is one of the reasons a lot of people don't like to diffuse this blend. And then lemon. Lemon is very great. It is a good oil for our digestive. So these together are kind of like the powerhouse oils for digestive, in soothing upset stomachs. Again, maybe that motion sickness, in nausea. These are what you would want to go to. And then a soothing blend. So this one, I debated whether putting it in or not, because it's not, this is one I would not diffuse. But it is one that I would blend together if I was having aches and pains. Maybe I worked out too hard, or maybe I sat at a computer too long and my neck was not too great and it's starting to ache, or been typing all day and my wrists are not feeling great. These are oils that I would use for that. And so I did at least want to include it because it is one of the blends that I love to use. It's wintergreen, peppermint, and helichrysum. And wintergreen is going to help muscles just really calm and relax. Peppermint, again, just how we talked about, it's going to help in the digestive. It's going to help really calm down some of that, the flare-ups and the muscle spasms. It's going to help with that. And then helichrysum is just an amazing oil for, I'm trying to think how to best say this, but more when there has been injury or tension or something, helichrysum is able to come in and really do a deep soothe of those tissues in a very unique way that to me, it's kind of a magical oil. I love it. But anyway, that's a great blend for those. So that is kind of our overview today. I didn't want to go too much deeper because I could go as deep and long as as you let me, really. But if you do have any questions, I'm happy to answer any. And if you would like to reach out to me for any further information, that's my contact number. I'm welcome phone calls and text messages. But yeah, any questions today?
I actually have a few questions for you.
Yeah.
The first one, can oils be overused? If so, does that reduce the effectiveness, or what happens with that?
No, that's a great question. So when we're talking about aromatic, there's really not a cap. It's more, you can kind of diffuse all day if you want to. It's more, then it becomes more personal preference. Like, am I tired of smelling wild orange for 12 hours straight or whatnot? Now, if you're starting to talk about topical or internal, then yeah, there's guidelines to follow. But to answer your question about, with essential oil, less is more, definitely.
Okay.
For example, what a typical question I get, or a typical text I get, someone has come down with something, they're not feeling well, they will text me a list of all the oils that they're diffusing and using, and I always have to say that's too much. Like it only takes a drop or two, and when our body is fighting something, and now we're putting oils in it, it gives it more it has to deal with. And it's almost like the way essential oils are is like they help, and then there's a point where they stop helping and they actually don't help anymore. So really just a little goes a long way. Just using a few drops at a time. If you're diffusing, like I said, I'll put 3 to 5 drops on average in my diffuser, and I will just let it sit there for the day, and then I'll pause, and then I might do it again a few hours later. You don't have to douse yourself in them. Does that help?
It does. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
The next question is, in the event of a negative reaction, such as a headache, what can you do to reduce the potency?
Yeah. So if you do for some reason have a headache or something, just in your diffusing, I would just stop diffusing, step outside, get some fresh air. And if you realize, okay, maybe I put 8 drops in there, so maybe you want to try it with just 2 drops and see if you have the same response. I have noticed that those who typically are getting, because I get text messages, they're like, hey, I'm trying this essential oil, I got a headache, and I will ask them, what grade is the oil? Usually they either don't know, or they'll be like, well, I just found it at a health food store. I'm like, well, does it have a high grade, high quality oil? And typically if they're having headache, it doesn't. And so I tell them, it's like, I don't know exactly what is in there that you're diffusing, but it could be something other than the oil that's giving you the headache. But if it is a high quality essential oil, then I recommend trying at a lower dose. But for the meantime, step outside, get fresh air, get the headache gone, and then kind of start all over and kind of do some trial and error and see what works for you.
Okay, cool, cool. And then the last question is, besides oils, what other ingredients can be mixed with the oil?
Yeah, so my favorite to mix with oils is fractionated coconut oil. And what the fractionated means is basically it's coconut oil, but they've taken the greasiness out. And so I can use it on my skin and it just absorbs in. I'm not left feeling all greasy. And that's actually what I use in my roller bottles. When I make them, I do fractionated coconut oil. Now you can mix any kind of oil you want with them. Some people mix just any oil they have in their kitchen or any other kind of like skin nourishing oil. You can also mix them with like if you have moisturizers at home, you can add them to that and then put them on your body. But usually for me, it's the fractionated coconut oil is my first go-to.
Okay. I think those are all the questions I have for today. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. You bet.
Okay, wonderful, Amy. That was wonderful. So much information, and I'm just excited, and I love the oils. I use them, and they've been a wonderful experience for my family and myself. And I continue sharing it with others and the benefits it has. Thank you so much, Amy.
Well, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.